fan for Yeezus because people were like,
Yeah. Even
I didn't like Yeezus when he first came out.
You see, a lot. Kevin didn't like it either. Like a lot
No,
of people.
no.
I've got the text. I've got the text. What's happening, my people? Yes, we're back for the final time. I know you've been missing us. It's been quite some time. You've been having sleepless nights thinking, what are we going to talk about next? Well, we're here. We're here to give you what you need. No more teasing. Okay, baby? We're giving it to you tonight. All right? So what we're going to talk about is a very interesting one. We're talking about the present this time. Previously, we're talking about the past. We're talking about the years that have just gone. Hold tight, my guy Scrooge. Today, we're going to be talking about the present. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck it over to Kung Fu Henny right now. You got for us, fam.
All right, guys. So this is the final topic that we're going to discuss today. This is the finale. This is it. There's going to be no more after this. You get it? So basically, we're going to each give our opinion on who we think is the artist to look out for in 2021. I know we're already a month into the new year, but I just want to get you guys' opinion on who we need to look out for, or who the people should be looking out for in 2021. So I'm gonna fling it over to Money Man P. Money Man P, what are you saying?
All good, bro. Yeah, I think for this year, AG Club are going to be pretty big.
Okay.
They had their they had a big song last year, Memphis.
Right.
That was massive throughout most of the year actually, and they had a big like remix with that. Personally, I don't rate them that much, but I think the style of sound they've got is sort of, and the type of group they are, sort of a collective that do music, fashion, all that sort of stuff. They're coming from the Bay Area. It's a lot of like sort of similar to ASAP Mob or Odd Future and stuff like that. They tend to be pretty big around like late teens, early 20s sort of people. I think as well, with their sort of sound, and we talked about earlier Larry June, both on the bass side are similar to about, was it early 2010s when you had Clyde Carson, I Am Sue, Problem, and Sage with Gemini.
That
obviously
period,
they didn't actually pop a blow, that they were getting big for a big time, but obviously it's debatable. They had a few big singles, but I don't think they actually blew properly. But I think I think AG Club will be a lot bigger. I think part of the reason is because they've got social media on their side now. A lot of their stuff, like they're getting a lot of articles written about them on like stuff like Noisy or sort of certain like music review things on like Twitter or like YouTube channels like Lyrical Lemonade and all that. Whereas I think like artists that are blowing up about 10 years ago didn't really have that. So I think if you got like, I think they're all like 17 to like 22 or something. I think there's about 5 of them. So I think they're making the most of like being on like the social media wave and everything. I think it's going to blow up.
Okay.
Let me just, I'm not particularly looking forward to them because I think they're pretty average, but I think like generally they'll blow up.
That's a fair point, bro.
Fair enough.
A fair point, bro.
Interesting selection still.
Yeah,
Good observation, because they haven't been on my radar. This is the first time me hearing about them anyway. So
Money, do you think it's going to be a situation where they're going to blow up via, obviously you said they've been using their socials and obviously they've been in a lot of publications and stuff like that. Do you think they're going to be, do you know there's certain artists who have blown up via TikTok and stuff? Do you feel like they'll have like one of them breakthrough singles that TikTok people do dances to and then they go from
Well, that's the thing. Memphis was proper big last year, I know, but it depends what they follow up with. I think like if you have a big single, they need to follow it up with like at least an EP, a mixtape, or an album that's got like a solid, at least 3 or 4 solid singles on there. Because if you just have one single and you don't follow it up with anything, momentum dies and people move on. It's sort of like, you remember Pac Div?
Yeah.
Pac Div had a few songs come off, but they didn't follow it up with anything proper. So then their hype just went away.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in that West Coast era, like you're talking about, the early to mid 2000s, 2010s, where bro, they had a wave and they just fell off. Like we could talk
I remember him as well. Yeah, he had some few good records as well. Yeah.
I think they only one that's sort of
he had a couple good records out.
Problem.
Problem, and I guess you could say to a certain extent Dom Kennedy, but he's not the same Dom Kennedy as he was. As you know my theory on Dom Kennedy.
I'm a fan of Dom Kennedy.
Dom Kennedy fell off massively.
Yeah, we think he fell off, bro. He dropped the bag big time, bro.
He dropped something last year.
He dropped something. No one listens.
Since was it Follow Me Home was his last good album. Since then, everything's been proper dead. I think that yellow tape was his best, and that was his first thing.
That was his peak. Of the thing with Dom Kennedy, one thing that me and Protest have been talking about quite a bit behind the scenes, you get me, is he just doesn't sound the same. He doesn't
He
sound
sounds like he doesn't
Hold on,
care.
why
he
is
sounds
that?
like he doesn't care. He sounds like he doesn't care.
So,
Like,
Why do you man think it's that? Just because he wants to get up the higher, the higher and get more money, and it's not getting there, and it's just not.
Yeah, do you think he's
Why is that?
hunger?
Huh?
You think he's lost his hunger?
Yeah.
I think
Why
so.
is
Yeah,
that?
I think so to a certain extent, because you. The thing is, you got to bear in mind that Dom Kennedy in like the mid 2000s was hot. Like I remember Rick Ross tried to sign him, like, but he did it smart. He was like, "Let me do the independent thing." He was selling nice independent copies.
I know that he was associated with Nipsey, like him and Nipsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, him and Nipsey, obviously, as you know, Nipsey, a pioneer of the East, was associated with him. Obviously, he was on Nipsey's Victory Lap album, Double Up.
Yeah.
But him personally, I don't know, like his voice, what he talks about, it just is not the same as it is. He's known for them swaggy raps, and he just doesn't. It's not the same. What are you gonna say, Money?
I just don't think he evolved at all as an artist. I think
Yeah.
he basically
Well, stayed the same.
released the same album over and over again, but the quality just went downhill. Like the
Okay,
lyrics, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
sort of like Currency releases a lot of the same like lyrical content over the similar sort of beats, but he manages like to stay fresh about it because his metaphors and his car raps, his sort of sports raps are always still pretty relevant. Whereas Dom Kennedy just seemed to be like getting worse and worse each time he came out.
It's true. There's only so much, like, obviously using Currency as a reference, where like you can talk about the same thing over and over and it still sounds fresh. Like with Dom Kennedy, you got to a certain point where it's kind of like, my guy, even we don't believe what you're saying. You get me? And also,
And then
my boy
Well,
Larry June
you
came
got
along
Larry June coming now as well.
and stole his whole bag.
The only one that's managed to actually keep that level of consistency is Pusha T, fam.
But
That
Jay,
the
you know what
cocaine raps.
I've noticed with those type of rappers, yeah, there's a lack of quality control. Like, how many albums did Larry June release last year? Like 4?
Bro, but all of them albums were. That's the thing. Do you know what? Yeah, it's either or. I feel what you're saying, because it's either or, where it's kind of like you flood the streets. Like I was gonna say, like with my guy Currency, this guy released like 5 mixtapes last year. It's ridiculous.
That's a bit too much.
It's a lot, but bruv, he's been doing the same thing for like over 10 years, bruv. And
Yeah.
I don't understand.
And their target audience isn't like people who are going to buy and make them appear on like top 20 of Billboard. Their target audience is a very niche audience that will support every single thing they put out. When Currency comes out with a mixtape, his like core fans buy all his merchandise. It sells out right away. They buy like special prints on vinyls and all that.
And the thing about it as well, like at the end of the day, it's lifestyle music, you get me? And with lifestyle music, to be fair, all you need to do is talk about the same things, but in a smart way. So I don't think
a whole tape, fam. In a whole tape.
In a whole tape, bro. I don't think it's a situation where it's kind of like, as H was saying, like Pusha T, where he can release once every 5 or 10 years. Because to be fair, even though you're talking about cocaine raps are still quite deep. You're talking about the effects. You're talking about the lifestyle. It's not just glamorous. He also talks about the lows.
Pusha T varies his production as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's the one thing of Pusha T, especially the last one tape that he put out. That's like his most challenging production or forward-thinking production that he's hopped on.
You can say that, but he's been working with the Neptunes, bro. If you listen to Hell Hath No Fury, it's
true. That's true. That's a good shout as well with the Hell Hath No Fury. Yeah.
But anyways, H, who's next?
Monberry.
For me, it's Ghetts, man. Like, it's quite surprising pick for me, because in the beginning I had no one to sort of pick, because in music it's very weird. You don't know what someone's gonna put out that's going to be good and that you're going to like. Do you get me? But with Ghetts, he's released like 3 singles, I think 4 singles now that I like, and of course Mozambique was like one of my favorite records of last year. And now with I think for me, Proud Family as well, like the vulnerability, the introspection, the lines that he's using now as well, it comes from a great place of wisdom, and it sounds great, it sounds amazing. So I that makes me think that this tape could possibly be on my favorite year-end list. So I'm hoping that will be the case, and that's why I put him as my artist to watch.
It's a good shout. It's a good shout, because I kind of feel like, and Henry can echo this point as well, that Ghetts has probably been one of the most consistent rappers in terms of just straight lyrical, smart, witted bars. And you can like, obviously, like, I feel like the Ghetts that we have today, you could say you didn't expect him to keep up such a high level to this point in his career. Bear in mind, like, he was there from the early the early grime era. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, like early
really
two
early.
thousands in that period. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
early 2000s until up to now, and not many people have been able to survive, stay relevant, and also spit some of their best raps at this point in their
Yeah,
career.
true,
Yeah.
true, true. And it's amazing to see that. And it's just like a lot of these grime rappers, in terms of subject matter, it doesn't get as deep as Gets is getting. I mean, we saw that from Kano last year. No, not last year, it was 2019 when he released Hoodie's All Summer album. That was also on my favorite list as well. And they are pushing the boundaries for me in terms of like UK rappers to be much deeper with this subject matter as well. Obviously, there's been rappers that have done it, but to do it consistently over on a big tape for me, I feel like for me in the UK rap scene has been lacking for a very long time. And the fact that they are doing that now as well and still able to release great records like Mozambique that could what's it called, target, you know, more of a general audience, or like a record like Skengman. For me, that's a great sense of balance that I thought most UK rappers haven't been able to sort of hit. So yeah, for me, it's him. I can't lie. Still, I could get that's my guy.
Do you feel like it's a situation, a luxury that like he's got to a stage in his career where everyone knows what Gets can do, everyone knows he can spit bars, everyone knows he can do X, Y, Z. Do you feel like he's got to a point now where it's kind of like, do you know what? Like, I'm at a point in my career where everyone knows I can spit bars. Let me get a bit more introspective. Do you think it's a luxury? Because I guess you could argue that like a lot of UK rappers, for example, don't have the luxury of being introspective because people haven't given them time to get there.
I was going to say that because he can be more open and free with his music because he's got a following already. So he knows if he comes out with something that's more personal to him, he'll still have like a receptive audience for that.
I think it is a luxury. But I also do feel, I mean, it's not to say, I mean, artists like Feder, they do take those risks on the album tracks, but again, it's not done as well. And some of them, of course, will not be as singles. So yes, it's a luxury to that sense. I agree. But
I'd say luxury might be the wrong word actually, because he's sort of earned it over his career.
It's not luxury.
But I feel like, what was I going to say again? I almost forgot. I mean, but I feel like Gets Curious also been very up and down. Like he hasn't commercially been as successful, like even as someone like Kano, I think. I need to check maybe I'm wrong, but I think Kano has not been even Skepta or even some people. So right now it feels like he's at that place where the Skepta was maybe at 2016. We'll see, of course, how the numbers do.
Basically, what you're trying to say is he's peaking now.
Yeah, I mean, commercially, 100%. I think this is his best commercially ever in his career. And he's doing that with great quality music and also releasing great meaningful content, and that's what makes me put him at that place. So I feel like he's right now, I think he's extremely he's great. He's must be so happy, and he's doing it well. So yeah, hopefully the tape bangs. That's all I can say really.
Yeah. Okay. And J Boogs?
For me, it was a difficult one. Originally, obviously, I'll give him an honorable shout out. It was going to be my guy, Larry June. As we spoke about previously in this conversation, he's just been on fire, just dropping tape after tape. It's been exciting. It's been interesting. Like we said, he stole Dom Kennedy's lane, and now he's running it, and he's running it well, man. Those swaggy raps that make you want to eat organic fruit and make money, bruv. Who doesn't want to hear that? You feel me?
Didn't he buy Orange Farm as well? Or is he planning to buy Orange Farm?
Bro, this guy's buying orange farms and cycling and telling you to run and invest, bruv. What an incredible rapper, bruv. You don't really get that these days, bruv. Like, this is grown man stuff. And also, he wears Rolexes. We love it. We love to see it, bro. But I feel like it would have been more of, that for me personally, it would have been like more underground. So I thought, let me bring it more to the mainstream. So I actually want to go with Central C, young guy out of West London. We see what he's doing right now in the charts. His music, his track Loading is, doing madnesses on the charts. Obviously, with the aid of TikTok, hold tight TikTok. But like just seeing what he's doing right now, seeing the music he's releasing, he's staying independent as well, which I think is a key to it as well. For me, seeing someone stay independent and still do numbers is incredible, especially these days in the UK, where, to be fair, quite a lot of people you wouldn't expect to be signed are signed. You get me?
Yeah,
So to be able to push those numbers independently shows me that he's got an audience who really want to listen to him, who are looking forward to his every move, every step. Like, let's be real, like the UK scene, yeah, if you get like 1 million views, it's popping. You get me? It's not like
Yeah.
America. Obviously, our scene is a lot
Yeah,
smaller.
yeah.
So like if you get 1 million views, wow, you're popping. So to be able to do that consistently shows that, okay, not only are you popping, you're popping without the aid of a major label behind you, which I feel like is quite impressive. So obviously just the music's good. He's young, so he's got time to go forward. He's got time to experiment, to advance himself. So I'm just very interested to see what he's got to do. I kind of feel like, yeah, he will have a big year next year if he stays on this route. If he stays independent, stays dropping good music, I feel like, yeah, this guy will have a good year. You feel me? I think he'll have a really good year. So yeah, I'm gonna go with my guy Central C.
As you man know, yeah, I go by many names in it, and one of my nicknames is Kung Fu Henny. You know, that name is inspired by the one and only, you know, Kung Fu Kenny, which is also known as Kendrick Lamar. That's gonna be my pick.
So why Kendrick?
I know a lot of people say, "Oh, that's the easy option," but I don't care. You know, for me, you know, Kendrick is one of the greatest MCs of all time, and I think he's the best MC of our generation, and he's definitely my favorite artist. And I know Kendrick hasn't dropped anything since 2017, I think. When was that released? 2017, right?
Yes. It might even been 16, you know.
I think it was 17 actually.
No, I think it was 17. I think it's 17. Yeah, it was 17.
Okay,
yeah,
fair.
Yeah. So obviously, I've been eagerly anticipating Kendrick's next release. To be honest with you, I didn't think Damn was his best album, but it was still a good album.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
Worst album is a lot of rappers' best album.
Best album. Yeah.
That should show you the type of caliber of artist this guy is.
Facts.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and how high his ceiling is. So I know that if it wasn't for Corona, he would have dropped his next tape last year. But
what do you mean his next tape?
His next tape, his next album.
How do you know this?
Oh, inside information, you know. I dibble and dabble in music. I didn't say what, but you know, I know people. Let's just say that, innit? So yeah, I know that he was gonna drop his tape last year, but because of Corona, that was sort of postponed. And I know that he was gonna headline a few of the major festivals. Like I know that he was gonna do Glastonbury. He was also gonna do one other major festival here. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, I mean, I was looking forward to it last year, but obviously didn't come out. So I'm anticipating a big year from Kendrick. And I've also heard that like this album is going to be a lot more experimental than his previous albums. Like I heard there's going to be a few like rock inspired sounds to it. So yeah, like I'm definitely looking forward to that, man.
Can I ask you a question, H?
Well,
so I must have been watching an academic stream not that long ago, and then he was talking about how in this current era right now, in this generation, because let's be real, one thing that's quite unique about Kendrick is he drops sporadically, his music is high quality, and he sells as well. Very well, sells very well. One thing that your boy DJ Academics said was in 2021, you get me? Because obviously there's rumors as well that Drake's going to drop this year as well. Yeah, not rumors. It seems like pretty much set in stone that he's going.
Yeah, Drake is going to drop, man. Like he can't.
Drake came out the other day and said that he would have dropped
in January, isn't it?
In January, but he did something to his knee.
Oh yeah, he had an operation or something.
Yeah, he had an operation on his knee, so he had to postpone it. But yeah, he's definitely dropping this year.
So what your boy Academics was saying is that essentially Drake is only competing with himself. Like, and I want to talk to you, obviously, like artistically, we know Kendrick is, you know, he's basically untouchable.
Yeah, he's untouchable.
Commercially, do you think that Kendrick...
Oh, fuck's sake.
What? Bruh, have you got like a timer or something, bro?
Collaboration, like Drake's been active since he started, really, you know.
But can I say Drake's last one? He dropped last year that mixtape, that Dark Lanes tape.
Dark Lane Dimity. Yeah.
That one sold like 200k first week.
I think it's gone platinum now, though.
It's gone platinum, but you know, 200k for Drake standards, that's not, you know, that's not good.
It was a mixtape still.
But Jay, you need to remember that wasn't billed. That wasn't sort of marketed as an album. That was like I don't know. like a
He
mixtape.
undersold it. He undersold it. He undersold
Yeah,
it.
yeah, he undersold it. Exactly.
But I'm just saying, like Kendrick Damn sold like near enough 700K.
Remember
So
that?
it was an album, but Drake's last album, I think Scorpion, sold around the same amount, like 700 or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying, what you don't think Kendrick? You know, bear in mind he hasn't released in years, so there's anticipation. You don't think he can hit Drake, who's been dropping every year?
Are you asking me? Do I think Kendrick can go platinum?
Not platinum, outsell him, as in from
No.
when he drops to the end of the year.
No,
You don't think so?
no.
I don't think so either.
You don't think so? Do you know the year where Kendrick and Drake dropped in 2017 at the same time? Kendrick outsold him.
But
Is it?
Yeah.
What year was that? 2017?
2017.
Yeah, but remember, wait, Drake dropped Scorpion in 2018. So what tape did he drop in 2017?
Hold on.
2017, he dropped More Life, and remember that was built as a collaborative album. It wasn't an actual studio album.
So you don't have faith that Kung Fu Kenny can outsell Champagne Pappy?
No, I don't.
No?
I don't.
You serious?
I'm being serious.
That's fair. So, but do you think?
I'm being realistic.
Do you think it'll be the better album
Of
than
course.
Certified Lover Boy?
Of course. That's what.
If you know what it is, I'm telling you, if Drake manages to put up a better album than the Certified Lover Boy, the Certified Lover will have to be a classic for that to happen.
As in Take Care-esque.
Better than Take Care S, or as close to Take Care S. That's why.
I personally, me and Kay have had this discussion before. I personally think that Drake's not interested in making a classic album. No.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
No. That ship is sold. He doesn't care.
When do you think is the last time he tried?
Nothing was the same. Or that mixtape.
If you're reading this, it's too late.
Yeah.
I think that was his last attempt.
That was his best mixtape, to be fair. I think personally.
Yeah.
After So Far Gone, I think that was his best.
Yeah.
Mixtape.
And a lot of people think that as well. But I think Drake is just all about the hits now.
It's just about the numbers, isn't it?
But with that being said, do you feel like Kung Fu Kenny will have something to say? Because let's be real, yeah, artists get to a stage in their career where they spoke about everything. Like the last album, Damn, was about like emotions essentially. It was about emotions and feelings and XYZ. He wasn't necessarily talking about anything. It was more like mood music. Obviously, the one before that is To Pimp a Butterfly. We know what that's about. And then before that, Good Kid, Mad City. And then obviously before that, Section 80. At this point in his career, Kendrick can be considered a veteran, like 10 years in.
Yeah.
What is he got left to talk about?
I think he's, for me personally, I still feel like he will still cycle through that. He's doing that since his mixtape days and up to his albums, where each of his albums he talks about, the social issues that's happening and also sort of like personal issues. I think that was more like, from my person's perspective. So I predict that it's going to be much more of the same. I think Kendrick Lamar is not the type of artist that could just release
this album,
party records and not talk about things that are happening. So I assume that it's going to do the same thing, but like Henry was saying, with a bit more experimental rhythms with it as well to push his sound further. So it sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, because in my personal opinion, I feel like Kendrick takes his time when it comes to making an album.
Yeah.
Like he puts a lot of thought into it. With Drake, I don't think he puts a lot of thought into it. Now,
that makes sense. So go ahead.
No, go.
Essentially, are you man basically saying that, let's be real, that Kendrick makes the same album but sonically different?
I mean, no. And yes, I mean, actually, actually, that's a fair thing to say. But I feel like that's the same with a lot of artists. Every artist makes the same records or the same, but it will either become, the lyrics will get much better, or will get much worse, or the production will get much better, or get much worse, or it will be just too much of one thing and not too much of many things. You get me? I think it varies sometimes. At point. I think
what we can do briefly is just talk about people who we would put in the same lane as Kendrick. So your Jay-Z's, your Kanye West, we'll say Outkast as a group, like people like that. Let's say essentially Kendrick is talking about this. Let's say for argument's sake, Kendrick is talking about the same thing but sonically different. Would you say all of those artists talk about the same thing?
Yeah, I mean,
different?
Yeah. I mean,
do you think so?
I
don't think Outkast. I wouldn't say Outkast or Kanye do.
I don't think Kendrick does either. I'd say Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City had similar sort of
themes,
backstory. Yeah.
Mm.
Like it was his experiences growing up in his life. But I'd say with To Pimp a Butterfly, it was more society. It was more conscious
society.
society as a whole rather than just his personal experiences.
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
say his first is Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City was more about what formed him personally.
Mm.
Whereas I think To Pimp a Butterfly is what formed his view of society around him.
Yeah.
But then isn't it the same? Isn't it the same notion of, you know, Southern LA, Crips and Bloods?
Sort of.
I'm a good kid.
I think with To Pimp a Butterfly was more the current
Kinda bigger
climate
than-
in
yeah.
sort of America as a whole rather than just focusing on, because I'd say, yeah, Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City you call them a California album.
Mm.
But I think
Yeah, but
Pimp a
even-
Butterfly was a lot wider.
Yeah, but even a record on Section 80, he does have records where he does talk about the bigger picture or in some sense. But he did on that record. On Pimp a Butterfly, he just blew up to much bigger, fam. Do you get me? So
I think what we can do briefly is just talk about people who we would put in the same lane as Kendrick. So your Jay-Z's, your Kanye
Yeah.
West, like we'll say Outkast as a group, like people like that. Let's say essentially Kendrick is talking about this. Let's say, for argument's sake, Kendrick is talking about the same thing but sonically different. Would you say all of those artists talk about the same thing?
yeah, I
But
mean,
sonically different?
yeah, I mean,
Do you think so?
I'd
I
say
mean, yeah, I
Outkast,
mean,
I don't think
I mean-
Outkast. I wouldn't say Outkast or Kanye do.
I don't think
I mean-
Kendrick does either. I'd say Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City had similar sort of
Themes.
backstory. Yeah,
Mm.
like it was his experiences growing up in his life. But I'd say with To Pimp a Butterfly, it was more society. It was more conscious
society.
society as a whole rather than just his personal experiences.
Right.
I'd
Yeah.
say his first is Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City was more about what formed him personally. Whereas I think To Pimp a Butterfly is what formed his view of society around him.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask H something about, like, when we were talking about sales. So you said your artist of the year was Taylor Swift. And you said how she changed up her sound. So her previous back catalogue you didn't really like because it was generic pop. But then her last two albums changed like more indie sort of rock vibes and stuff, folk that you enjoyed a lot more. You said Kendrick's new album might change direction and have a bit more of a sort of different vibe to it. Do you think that's got the potential to open him up to a bigger audience as well?
Potentially, yeah. I think. Wait, Kendrick collaborated with a rock band.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, and was it? And I think
It was XXX on Damn.
Yeah, and also they collaborated with a rock band called Imagine Dragons or something.
Yeah, what was that? Grammys, isn't it? I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a
I think
Grammy.
so. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think
I think he's already been sort of dibbling dabbling in that sound. So I mean, like I said before, I'm optimistic that wherever Kendrick drops, even if it's something completely different to what I've heard before, I'm confident that it's gonna sound good because it's Kendrick.
So he's got the seal of approval that whatever he drops, it will be hot.
I mean,
as long as he's focused in it, man. As long as he's focused.
Yeah. He's got the seal of approval. I'm not trying to say that it's guaranteed to be
A classic.
fire, but like he's got that. He's got credit in the bank for me. So yeah. I feel like whatever he decides to do on this next album, I'm hoping and I'm praying that it's good. But I think it would be because it's Kendrick.
Was you gonna say Money?
I was going to say, do you think obviously yours and a lot of people's, their expectations and the bar they have for him already set at such a high level that he could, with a change in style and a change in direction a bit, he could potentially just fall proper short of that?
That's a good question.
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure. Because obviously, the likes of me and Kevin, and I'm sure Joris as well. Like we put sort of Kendrick on that upper echelon.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very hard to continue to sort of what's the word I'm trying to say?
Reach that level.
Yeah. To maintain that.
Maintain, obviously, yeah. I think that's part of the difficulty. If you proper like an artist, you like what they've done, but you sort of want to see them keep evolving and trying risks and taking risks, so that you can sort of be like, this artist progresses and they're more well-rounded. But then there's always the danger that they move in a direction or move out of their lane and it doesn't work out at all.
Because if you look at someone like Jay-Z, I mean, Jay-Z first came out with Reasonable Doubt, and then he came out with something else. Then he came out with Blueprint, I swear.
His Lifetimes with Sean Carter.
Yeah, two
albums. One. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he came out with the Black album.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after the Black album.
Blueprint 2.0. Then
2.0 something. Yeah.
2.0, then the Black album. And then after the Black album, that's where he had like a dip. You know.
Kingdom Come, when he came back.
Blueprint 3 was alright, but you know,
commercially is what did it for him.
Yes. And then Magna Carta was
internationally, let's say internationally.
For me, for Jigga, man, his last great album was American Gangster. That's my person. Apart from 444.
Yeah, 444, I would say. Yeah.
But my point is, after like 4 or 5 consistently good albums, he had a dip.
Mm.
You see what I'm trying to say?
So Kendrick could potentially have a dip.
Maybe. It's not out of the realms of
you know, to be honest, yeah, it's true because we do not know. I'm not gonna lie, we do not know.
I doubt it.
Yeah, but with Kendrick Lamar, unlike Jay-Z, has managed to still put out albums that are fantastic. I wasn't such a big fan of Damn or even To Pimp a Butterfly, but even now I could just shut up about it and agree with everyone that those albums are amazing because of how well executed they are about the topic that they speak of. But Kendrick has managed to do that and still release quality albums, while Jay-Z, bro, Blueprint 2.0 was nonsense. He had hits. He had like 2 ones.
I'm a hustler, man.
Lifetime. Obviously, I was super young, but I've gone back to look at them with my new ears. It's like, what's the point of that? And Blueprint, there's some duds of an album, but
I just want to quickly say, Rock Nation. This is not Kendrick. Sorry, this is Kevin's opinion.
I'm not gonna lie. I always say
this has nothing to do with
Jay-Z.
This is Kevin's opinion.
Yeah, that's my favorite opinion. But Jay-Z is my favorite rap. Actually, under 3,000, but Jay-Z is my second.
Jay-Z's up there. Jay-Z's top 5.
Yeah. He's like, bro, he's like my favorite of all favorite. Like, there is no doubt about it. But even I know, like, some of his albums serves one particular purpose, and at times, like Blueprint, he was able to get that balance where it's like, yo, the pop rhythms are crazy, but the album rhythms are crazy. But Kendrick Lamar, I feel like for me, he's like one of the only few. I think Outkast has done it. Maybe, obviously, Kanye. Others that I haven't mentioned that's able to be sell well and release great music. So yeah.
Do you know what I feel like Kendrick is right in between Kanye and Jay-Z in the terms of, with Jay-Z, when he released albums, let's be real, sonically he just went for what's hot. Get me the hottest producers. I'm gonna spit some bars. You get me?
On the Black album, especially on the Black album.
Especially on the Black album, he was just like, get me all the hottest people.
But the Black album was hella good executed. Black album was the one where he got that balance right.
Yeah.
It's not unlike Blueprint 3 is what you were basically saying, hottest producers. It had hot records like New York State of Mind, but the album is just
100%. But then also you could say that regardless, his lyrical pen was still strong. You get me?
He always will be, man. Like
always.
But he's a chandelier fam. That's why I always think Jay-Z's a chandelier fam. Like you look at it, you always smile. That's what Jay-Z.
You always look at him in awe. Where, like, for example, Kanye, you could say he's not the most super lyrical rapper. He's a very good rapper, but also sonically, he always tries something different.
Yeah. Kanye is amazing. Kanye, 100%.
Always try something different. And I remember he got quite panned for Yeezus because people were like,
I didn't like Yeezus when he first came out.
You see, Kevin didn't like it either. Like a lot of people.
No.
I've got the text. I've got the text.
Listen, Yeezus, bro, Black Skinhead was, bro, I fucking loved it. 2 months into the album, I was screaming every single song on the album. Yeezus for me is phenomenal.
So listen, the first time he heard it, he said he didn't like it. Anyway.
That wasn't me, fam. That wasn't me. That wasn't me, brother.
What I'm saying is Kendrick is like right in the middle where I kind of feel like his pen will always be strong.
Yeah.
And it seems like he's quite good sonically. You feel me? Like he'll try something different. He'll experiment. He'll always, it seems like from what we've seen so far in his career, he'll always try and think outside of the box.
When
it comes to his lyrical, not his sonic. Which you can appreciate. So, bro, I guess, as Henry said, we just have to stay tuned and see, what my guy drops. I guess this wraps it up, doesn't it?
Our first video, more to come.
Exactly. More to come, guys.
This was a good discussion as well, you know. I can't lie, it's very good discussion, fam.
Very lovely discussion, guys. Please, if you have any thoughts, please comment down below. If you have any, any people you feel like we missed out, artists of the year, artists of last year, tracks or singles, let us know. Let's discuss it. Let's open up this forum and let's make this a lot bigger. Please follow the socials as well at Still Color everywhere. Find us on Spotify.
Like, comment, subscribe as well.
Subscribe. Find us on Spotify, Twitter, Instagram. You get me? Send it to your man. Send it to your side chick, your baby mothers. Let's spread this around.
A lot more consistent content coming as well this year.
100%. In many different fields.
Yep, 100%.
I guess we should sign out.
Peace.
Mind them.